Okay, this question's from the audience, Rav. So, what is your relationship with Joe Rogan? And he's given you shout outs before and shared your work. So, maybe just share a little bit of background there. I know we recently posted an episode with Mark Cuban, and that was inspired by Joe Rogan. So, maybe just share how that came to be.
Yeah. So, Joe Rogan, the person that everyone wants to talk about all the time. So, it's interesting. I've got a couple messages recently, and I think people seem to think that I'm closer with him than I am. They think I'm like buddies with Rogan. So somebody recently messaged me, a somewhat well-known person, a journalist in Canada who has some book coming out. He's like, "Yo, Rav, can you connect me with your buddy Joe Rogan? I'd love to go on his show to promote my book, and here's what I'm doing." And a couple people have kind of alluded to that before, that he and I have some like tight relationship or something like that. And while that would be cool, I just want to be clear, like Joe has been a great supporter from a distance. I guess I can briefly share. In 2020, I wrote an article about why his podcast, I felt like, was the most important platform for having rigorous, thoughtful conversations across politics and health and wellness. And that article went super viral for all the wrong reasons. It was published in the Globe and Mail. Audience kind of leans left, and Canada's kind of leans left broadly. And so people on Twitter were getting very mad about me writing this article complimenting Rogan, and it went mega viral. And then Rogan reached out eventually over DMs and said, "Hey, I appreciate you writing that article. Great job, keep it up, and best of luck." And I was like, "Oh, cool, that's awesome." And then after that, I was writing a lot about COVID and big pharma and vaccine mandates. And around middle of 2021, this is early 2022, Mark Cuban was just eviscerating Rogan for his coverage on vaccine mandates and vaccine myocarditis. And then I was writing about it at the same time. And then Joe, he sent a couple of my articles on Substack about vaccine side effects to Mark when Mark was attacking him. And then Joe just hit me up one time and said, "Hey, Mark's attacking me right now, and he's talking about vaccine myocarditis not being a big issue and this and that, and can you debate him over email?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, like I can do that." We had this long email exchange, and Joe was kind of watching what was happening there. And that led to the podcast that we just released with Mark Cuban on that topic. I just hit up Mark this year. I was like, "Hey, we had this email debate. Why don't we just do it on my podcast?" And then he kindly said yes, and we had a fun boxing match on the podcast. But that's pretty much been the extent of the relationship with Joe over the years, is his support for my writing on COVID and also psychedelics. He's shared a couple things. Me and Dr. Matt Johnson, psychedelic scientist who's been on the podcast, we wrote this psychedelic policy reform agenda for the Trump administration last year, which Joe supported and promoted. But overall, like occasionally Joe and I will, I'll text him something or he'll send me something and we'll just text back and forth. But it is kind of funny though that I've actually never talked to him over the phone, and we've just like texted like a lot over the past like 3-4 years. Every now and then something interesting in the news will come up, or sometimes something just silly or funny that I think he would laugh at. I'll just like send it to him randomly, and then we'll just kind of chat about it. But that's pretty much it. We're not like tight buddies, but he's just been very generous, and I would like to acknowledge that. Like he, despite having no like personal like intimate connection with me, he's been very generous in supporting my work. And actually, I'll just share briefly. I was in Austin, Texas in early 2024. Visiting UATX, the new anti-woke University of Austin. And I just hit up Joe. I was like, "Oh, I'm in town and I'd love to check out your comedy club." And he went out of his way to be like, "Hey, like I'll get you tickets to the show. Like we got you. We'll put you on the guest list." And I was like, "Oh, you don't have to do that." He's like, "No, like I want to do this." And that like to me just shows his character and like how much he cares about people, like just going out of his way and doing things just to support people and like enrich their experience. Like there was no incentive for him to do that other than just like showing some love and support. And so that really meant a lot. So love to talk to him in the future, but no, we're not buddies, and no, I will not be fielding inquiries about people who want to go on his show. But would love to talk to him one day, and I'm sure I'll talk to him at some point.